What's good, YouTube? This is Cable Flair. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another episode. We got transgender in sports. How do y'all feel about men transitioning to women and joining women's sports? Because you don't ever hear women transitioning to men and then going to a man's sport. In my personal opinion, I don't agree with it. 0% at all. I don't agree with this shit at all. Why do I not agree with it? I don't have no problem with any trans. I hear a lot of people saying that trans should have their own sport. I am 100% in agreement with that. They should have their own sports. Genetically, you get upset, you get sensitive, I don't give a fuck. A man that transitions to a woman is still a man at the end of the day. You are physically a man. No matter what hormonal change you go through, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's you. I don't have no problem with that. I have a problem when it comes to people thinking that just because you can change and do this and do that, that genetics still don't exist. Genetics still exist. Biology, a man will always be physically stronger than a woman, no matter what you go, no matter what you go through, no matter the pills that you take, no matter the hormones, this and that, you will still be considered a man. If a female turns into a man, you will still be considered a female. Biology doesn't change because of emotions. Genders, you know what I'm saying? We have people who's, it's gotten to the point where I've always, maybe I'm wrong, but since I've been alive, thousands of years, there's only been a male and a female. So I don't, this all this extra gender shit, it is what it is. My only thing is, stop trying to push that shit on to everything. Women cannot compete with men. If you're physically stronger, a man will always be physically stronger than a woman. There's nothing that you can do to change that, unless if you're shooting babies up with some steroids or something. But men will always be physically stronger than a woman. So to go over here and say, hey, let me join your sport. I'm a female too. I'm taking all these damn pills. I work just as hard as you. If you put a man and a female in the same weight room, like let's just say you just get them off the street. When was the last time you worked out? 12 years ago. When was the last time you worked out, sis? Well, I worked out about goddamn 6 years ago. Okay. That man will still be stronger than her. Even though she worked out 6 years ago, when he worked out 12 years ago, he'll still be stronger than her. Majority of the time, a man will always be stronger than a female. So, for instance, here's a good example as to why men can't compete with women in their sports, because we will just outdo women. Boys soccer team beat a female soccer team. That won a national championship or something. Now we have, and they're trying to sit on here and say that doesn't make any difference. It makes a large difference. You got 13-year-old boys whooping up on some women that won in their sport, that won the whole thing in their sport, and they can't beat 13-year-old boys. But yet we have people who sit on here and say that does not play a role in anything. It plays a strong role in shit. Men will outdo women in anything that's physical. If you look at track, I see it more in track where trans men are trying to jump into track with women. I see that more often than anything. And here's your response to that.
Connecticut junior Selena Soule won't be competing in the 55-meter dash. She was edged out of the top 6 spots in part by 2 transgender runners.
Yes, I have. I have been labeled as transphobic, and I have been labeled as a sore loser, and that I should just try harder and train faster. And I do that, but there's no way I can be physically competitive with someone who is a male. At the Connecticut State Open meet in the indoor season, I was participating in the 55-meter race. You had to qualify from your class meet in, and I qualified in 8th place. And in the preliminary round, I ran close to my personal best, only 1/100th of a second off of my best. and I came in 8th place, and top 7 qualify for the final, and the top 6 advance to the New England regional meet. And because there were 2 transgender athletes, that bumped me down to 8th place, and if they weren't there, then I would have been the 6th girl. I would have been ensured a spot in the finals, and I could have gained a higher placement and qualified for the New England meet. It's extremely intimidating and frustrating being forced to compete against someone who's biologically a male. It's scientifically proven that they are bigger and stronger than women, as they have more muscle mass and they have bigger organs. And it's just not a fair contest having a woman compete against a man, because no matter how hard she tries and how much work she puts in practice, the male will always beat her. When we are all at the start line, we all know that these 2 athletes are going to win. And it should be that the girls are fighting for 1st and 2nd place versus fighting for 3rd and 4th place. Because in a given race, us girls, we will switch on and off with winning. It's not always the same girl each time, but when these 2 athletes participated, it is always one of them who is winning the race. This can greatly impact my future with college scholarships, because on the results pages from the meets, there's no identification that these 2 athletes are transgender. They're either listed under the boys' races or the girls' races. And unless the college coach would go and type into Google these athletes' names, or have watched one of the TV show segments on this, they would have no idea that these athletes are transgender. But they're going to see that their times are way higher than any other girl in the field, and they're going to want to recruit or try to recruit those 2 athletes. I've gotten attacked by some of the media. I don't pay too much attention to it because I know that majority of the stuff will be negative, but I've had people reach out to me on social media, as well as athletes from other schools, and they've thanked me for my speaking out. And right now, currently, in Connecticut, I am the only girl who is speaking out. Everyone else is too afraid. And for me, it's hard speaking out. It's not always easy. But I know that this isn't right, and I'm going to do whatever I possibly can to bring back fairness to my sport.
Now it's gotten to the point where they are letting trans men get into MMA fighting. Now we are allowing men to actually physically beat on women now. Into the sport. Do we not see a problem here, bro? Do we not see a problem here? When I show you this video, you're going to see why. You're going to see why they sit on here and say, you know what? This is why men should be in men's sports and women should be in women's sports.
Pegged away there as they get in the clinch, and this is where McLaughlin, her power, her strength wasn't the same. Yep. Very appreciative for Provost to take this fight. I don't know how appreciative is that.
The kicks, she hasn't used them very well.
He's taking this punishment, but Big Right did not find it. Protection there from Provost.
Dangerous situation. It's almost like if you're walking, and she suffers till this day from PTSD.
Big, now the strength
she tried to go for the double.
Go up, does pretty now.
We might have her reneged
deep, and the tap. Alana McLaughlin.
We're gonna act like that shit just ain't exist. Neither of them motherfuckers can fight, but you can clearly see. And if the ones who don't know which one is the transgender, the one in the pink hair is the transgender. The one in the pink hair is the transgender. You can see it as clear as day. That other lady with the braids had one good punch on him and almost got him put his ass out. But look at the rest of the fight. She was getting her ass handed to. She was getting her ass handed to. You can click. She punching this person. Nigga not even budging. Like I said, he got one good hit. Motherfucker was barely even budging. You can see her hitting him, and you just eating it. But we're gonna sit over here and act like this shit don't exist. We're gonna sit over here and act like this is okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. As you saw earlier, the woman, she's like, man, listen, they're taking away my scholarships. Women are not going to have the scholarships, the amount of scholarships that they should have, because we have transgenders coming in and taking over the sport. We're gonna have transgenders coming in and taking over the sport. So the 5 trans who have the scholarships, 5 women can't have scholarships. Somebody was ignorant enough to sit on here and say, well, they need to train harder. Well, the women need to train harder. Well, women need to go harder. The women need to do this. Women need to do that. Women can't change simple biology. Women cannot change simple biology. I have seen women work their asses off, still get yoked up by some average guy. Granted, there are some women out there, man, that's buff, that can beat a guy up, this and that, but dude, the majority cannot do that. The majority of women cannot do that. You probably have a good 10-20% of women who are able to defend themselves. The other rest can't. They need a man. They need somebody. They need somebody with a physical presence. Like this is just beyond me. And like I said, America is just getting worse and worse by the day. It's just getting worse and worse by the day, because now we got to be exclusive to everything. Now we got to be exclusive to everything. What was once just for men and just women, now anybody can do. The bathroom, the most, I ain't gonna say a sacred place, but you know what I'm saying. You, for a man, let's just think about this. Let's just talk about this. You know what I'm saying. This might small, a little out the way, but your daughter, for your man, for a woman, you have your kid, you have your daughter going to a bathroom, right? You see a guy go up in there. How would you feel? Going to the same bathroom that your little daughter just went into. How would you feel? You will feel some type of way. You'll be like, bro, what the fuck is this? It's not normal. It's not normal. And here's the thing, right? I don't care how anybody feels about that. We have people in this world who are creeps. We know they exist. So why do we neglect that? Why do we neglect it? That right there just giving them an opening to do whatever the fuck they want to do. You know, hopefully it never comes to the point where a woman just happened to be in the bathroom alone, and then a guy just sit on here taking it upon himself to go into the bathroom, and it's like, well, I'm a female. You know, so like I said, all this shit is flawed. Women need to stay in their sport. Men need to stay in their sport. Trans or not, you need to stay in you need to stay in your respective place. Period. Take all the pills, take all the hormones you want, but you can't go out here and go try to go compete, because even then, all the hormones that trans women are taking, still not taking away genetics. Still not taking away the genetics. They will still outdo all these pills and all this shit that trans take. They still outdoing women. They're still outdoing women. They're doing everything in their power to be feminine and still outdoing women. So, you know, it's just common sense. You know, it's just common sense. If you mad at that, then it is what it is. I don't care. But, you know, man, look, do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Out.